Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a late night Wandering Scribe book impressions video. I'm your host, Gabriel Garcia, otherwise known as the Wandering Quill and the Wandering Scribe, and today we'll be doing a first impressions of Dissonance, Volume 1 by Aaron Ryan. Now, to give a little background into this story, Dissonance follows the story of the main character, whose name I will begin in the first chapter, who lives in a world that's set in the not so distant future. And Earth has been conquered by a race of aliens that are unlike anything we have ever seen before. And these aliens are quite terrifying. And I don't want to give too many spoilers into it, but the first book is all about how do we kill them and how do we survive. And with that said, let's dive right into Dissonance, Volume 1. Chapter 1, Reality. There was no way I was going to make it. That was my reality. I had had this damn thing in my pocket for 17 days and had successfully evaded becoming anyone's dinner so far, but for how much longer? I had no idea. It was getting hot, whatever it was, but it wanted out of my pocket. Marcus didn't even tell me what it could do or why it was so important. It just gave me half to me and half to Rut, and then bolted. I only got a few briefs look at it, but it was some kind of stone or gem, about the size of a silver dollar, flat and encased in some kind of silver circlet with strange glyphs on it. Now I kept it wrapped in a rag. The back of my throat scratched as I muscled down a swallow as I feverishly swiped away whatever bug it was that I suddenly fell on my back, on my neck, hiding there behind the dumpster. I was pretty sure they had passed by already, but with gorgons, you could never be sure. The way they could glide noiselessly across the ground was just plain creepy as hell. I remember when my little brother Rutledge, aka Ruddy, and I would skip rocks across the alleyway during the heat of summer when it was safe, and Jackson would come looking for us to whisk us back into school. It was all fun and games until he forgot to keep it down and yelled at us. Then that berserker gorgon got him. We called those ones berserkers because they were just weirder than the rest, flailing and twitching, but also faster and much, much meaner. It was weird. They came a few years after the original gorgons, but no one ever saw where they came from, apparently. I never understood how many gorgons could hear a rock ricocheting across the dirt 100 meters away. But it got there fast and it did its thing. Jackson never saw it coming. That trippy Medusa-esque stare they give you. I don't know what it is that comes out of them, but it's some kind of paralyzing telepathy, something pathological, and it got him fair and square. Slap a few snakes on their head and it would have completed the ensemble, straight out of Greek mythology, but these things didn't slither. They sliced the air at him. There was, of course, nothing we could do once it had zeroed him. We tried to look away as it came in, and then just ate him slowly. I'll never forget that. The sound of it. That was 8.5 years ago. I can still remember his stinking coffee breath when he catched us playing. Kinda wish we could wake up and find him skulking around the alleyway trying to catch us again. But that'll never happen. Rod had scouted up ahead, and I could see the occasional green pings of his laser pointer, a priceless treasure we had ransacked from a home of a previous recon. Last name Ramesses, I think. They had the good sense to clear out before all hell broke loose. I envy them, but I thank them more than they left some good behind. When they were now was anyone's guess, if they were even still alive. 23-year-old me took one last look back at and mustered up the courage to raise myself up over the lip of the dumpster, hardly daring to breathe. The night air betrayed me and revealed my slow, steady fog beneath the short wisp. No fair. I pulled back. It just didn't feel like it was time yet. Good thing, too. I checked myself and started. Just as I did, another gorgon came floating down from above, not 20 feet from where I was. I was trying to remain calm, but it just stayed right there, hovering. I glanced at my watch. I only had 6 more minutes and the blockade would be closed for good for the night. I'd never make it out of the zinc plant and back in time. I looked back at Rudd, who glared at me open-eyed, silently mouthing, "Come on." I shook my head and looked back. For whatever reason, the gorgon just wouldn't move. It was like he had gone to sleep or something. It wasn't looking my way, at least not yet. I looked down at my watch again. 5 minutes. The blockade had to be, 600 feet away? Out past the alley, the zinc plant, and over the yawning field. 600 feet divided by 300 seconds. That's 2 feet per second. I could do that like nobody's business. My stomach growled. I needed to get in there. It was getting colder. I shivered. I looked back at Ruddy. He was watching it too. No one in their right mind would mess with a gorgon. We looked up at them when they came, admiringly somehow, trusting naively that this would be the dawn of a new era of intergalactic growth and some kind of evolution. What hubris. I'll never trust that again. Rut looked at me and then at the gorgon, and it started to slowly shift somewhat to the left, like it had detected something. I scanned the ground over where it seemed to be looking. Was it a rat? A mole? No way to be sure. Those gorgons had a good sense of hearing, but they could only track something if it moved. All I could do was stay still. I looked down at my watch again. It had fogged over a bit. Stupid mist. Whatever a group of them gathered, you could always count on missing. That's what we call it when that translucent fog came rolling in. It clung to the gorgons and swirled around silently as if to mask their approach and presence. It was theatrical for sure, but super freaking cold. And we had all learned to control our breathing and our heartbeats, like we were taught in the name of zero volume. I wiped the moisture off my watch. 4 minutes, 2.5 meters per second. My strides would have to be longer and loping. It would be close. I reached slowly into my pocket. My mouth creased into an open O as I motioned the gorgon. My fatigues were damped from the fog, and I could not get my fingers around the rock. It was even hotter than before. What the heck was this thing? Marcus never said exactly what it was before. He handed it off to me and ran off. He screamed to get it back to the blockade. I had no idea if he got away, as I'd been living in the shadows to keep safe, but that's what he wanted us to do. What time was it now? He never said. And with that, we will stop here as a little teaser. But the story itself in the first few pages already gives a sense of this world and what the gorgons are. They are not this typical alien that we've seen. They are unnatural. And honestly, I think that adds to the story's uniqueness and creativity in sort of flipping the alien invasion on its head. It almost reminds me of Battle Los Angeles. The aliens were very different but had a clear goal in mind. Whereas in this one, to give a little context for the gorgons, these almost look like jellyfish, giant intergalactic jellyfish, who have no plan except to consume everything in its path. And in Dissonance Volume 1, you get a good sense of how dangerous these things are, and that no one is safe and anyone could be killed at any moment. And honestly, the main character becomes the focus of the story as he learns what is going on in the world and what his role is in, and what we can expect from him down the road. And with that, viewers and listeners, we will stop here with a rating of 5 out of 5. Now, I read this book many months ago, but never got around to make a video until now. Now, if you want to watch the full interview with the author, Aaron Ryan, I will leave it over here for you to check out. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below what was your favorite part of the reading. Until next time, bye.